All right, well, this morning we're at the location of the second spring that we're going to develop this fall, and we finally got all the supplies and equipment moved over to here, and we're kind of ready to start moving some dirt and get rolling on this project. So it's definitely worth developing. There's just barely a little trickle coming out of it this year. We've been in a pretty extreme drought in our location right here, and we'll just show you a little bit what the spring is putting out right now, which isn't much. And you can see that the cows get in here and they just kind of make a mess of things, and so this is kind of what we're trying to fix up, is protect this spring and then put it into a tank that will provide fresh water for cows and the wildlife together. So, but you can see it's coming out of a couple of different spots. We got a little bit coming out of here, and on a normal year there's quite a little actually coming out of this area here, and then the main is on over here and a little bit there. So our plan will be to excavate down just a little bit right here in this area, and then we'll lay some of that bentonite carpet in there. We'll set a perforated collection pipe and probably some perforated spur pipes coming off of that vertical collection pipe, and then we'll bed that with gravel, fill over with gravel, and then we'll kind of cover this up so as to protect that the original outlets of the spring. So, and then once everything's done, we'll fence this area out, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to capture all of this water, and so there won't be a wet seep here anymore that kind of attracts the cattle to it. Instead, we'll have our tank, and then the overflow for the tank will go down into the draw, just like this water usually does on a normal year. So quite a little rock and dirt to be moved here on this project. You know, I think the first part we need to do is just prepare a pad here for the pipeline. And so I'll try to sneak that skid steer on down in here. This rock really isn't too bad. It breaks up and crumbles up pretty good. Okay, so we've got the pipeline pad basically made. Just needed to kind of smooth things out a little bit so that we could get the backhoe in here. And on the other side of this draw, we'll make a pad there for our tank. So we'll trench the pipe down this hill through the bottom of the draw and up into the pad for the tank. And then the tank itself will have a 3-inch overflow. Okay, so we got the pad for the tank made now, and it's pretty level. I'm not going to get it real good and leveled right now. We got to trench the line into the center of it, and so we'll fix it up after that. But I went ahead and drug the tank down here, and we are pretty much ready to start trenching. And if you look at our spring right now, you can see that it really is all along here. This area over here where the largest border collie in the world is standing. So I'm going to start right here trenching, and I'm going to go to the tank, and we'll get all this pipe basically in place, starting about right in here. And then I'll come in from this upper side. I kind of made a path that I could get down in here, and I'll back in here, and then we'll dig the actual spring through here. All right, well, we got the inlet line laid in here. I'm waiting for a saw. Dad's bringing a saw here to finish up this overflow line. So, but anyway, I think we're ready to start backfilling here. And I'll just show you, I put this valve in here, and it'll be right at the edge of the tank, and it'll have a piece of 8-inch PIP coming up and then a handle going down to it. and we'll try to protect it right next to the tank there. And that valve will just allow us to, if we don't want to put any water into the tank, we'll be able to open that valve up, and then that'll just let it on down the draw here. So I'm going to go ahead and backfill this, and that'll be about it for today. And then tomorrow we'll go on up, then we'll put the tank in place, and we'll be ready to cement there. And then the last thing we'll do is actually develop the spring, tie the spring line into the line going to the tank, and then once we get water to the tank, we're ready to cement the tank in. So okay, so we're up here in the main spring area, and I've excavated on up from where we started trenching the inlet and now up into the spring. And I think I just wanted to kind of explore a little bit here and then leave it overnight and just see what develops here. But you can kind of see that purple layer, and apparently that's like a bentonite layer, and the water goes down to that level and then follows that layer on out. But there's just a whole bunch of seeps all along here. There's not one main, so I think we're doing right. I'll just show you, like there's a little bit coming here, a little bit up high. This is a real good one, and that's just coming right out of that crack. Here's some more. It's coming up high here. Here's some more coming out of that, above that layer. Here's coming up. Oh, this is clear up here. So this is going to be just right. We'll lay that bentonite carpet down here and up this other side here, and then we'll put the layer of gravel down, and we'll put our perforated drain pipe down, and then we'll just bury everything in gravel down to the collection box. And we should get all of this. This looks like the main stuff, but down here farther, we've still got some coming here. So the collection box will be here below all of those little seeps. So, and I think on a normal year this one would be running quite a bit. So we'll catch all of that, and on a normal year this thing it'll flow a full 2-inch pipe, I'll bet. And then somehow get the gravel in here. I haven't quite figured that out, but I know right here I can maybe sneak over and dump it off the edge here, but up there it's gonna be a little tougher. But we'll figure it out. All right, we'll continue on in the morning. Well, a few of us have some energy. It was a pretty long day yesterday. We got the tank set and the water to it, but like we said earlier, with the drought and all this year, the spring's not putting out much, so it was taking the tank a long time to fill up, and we didn't want to start mixing our concrete until the tank had plenty of water to go up over the cement, because we like to set that cement underwater. So otherwise, if you set it dry, as it dries, it'll separate itself from the tank, and then you'll have a leak that'll eventually wash your tank out. So anyway, I'm just getting here this morning. I had a feeling that the tank was going to be full and kind of running into the center here, judging by how many hours it took to get to where it was last night. Checked it at about 9 o'clock last night. And so looks like we did get full, and we're kind of coming over, and actually that's going to be just about right. So you can see that just with the dirt, The water's just barely coming up over the edge of the tank, and of course the dirt's not sealing, so it's running out over. But that's just going to be just fine. So I'll just get set up here, and we're going to start putting cement in and start mixing some cement. This is actually just perfect. So, all right, we'll get started. I think that's about a wrap. So we did about 3 days. It took us to get the spring developed and get the pipe laid, set the tank, and I think we've backfilled now around the tank. I put a layer of rock around and then kind of capped it with some dirt here. But this is that last tank we just got done putting in. Looks like they're getting some darn good use out of it. So, I'm actually surprised that it's full. It's just not putting out very much, and I figured there'd be more cows hit it than it could keep up with, but it looks pretty awesome. Jude likes it. Jude approved.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.